We're here to close out this variety starter pack week with the Thermo-Sudoku puzzle by Rajesh Kumar. It's called Lion Face, and while that pattern is a pretty clear theme, it also leaves behind some more filled rows and columns to look at. So I'm looking at any of these places where I don't have any fully white cells, and so here we've got a thermo that bridges the top. The smallest value's got to be in that bulb, and we're going to have 3, 4, 5, 6 at the rest of the spots. We, for instance, will know like this can be a 4 or 6 with the 5 down below. The main thing with getting that 1 is it now makes this middle column really limited. 2, 4, 6, and 9 to place, and this 2 eliminates everything but this bulb at the start. It can't be at the end. Here's this 2 at the bottom, 4, 6, 9 to go there. Before we move too far off the center box, let's see that the 5 and 8 are now forced into these top positions. 7 and 9 will complete that box. We place some 2s in the bottom, so let's come back and look at the 2s across the grid. 2s could be in these cells, but not 3 into a thermometer shape, so this has to be a 2 here. We've got a 2 that can go in this position. 2's working here and here, limit most in this box. If this were a 2, it forces this to be a 1, but this can't be a 1, so that's out. And 2 can't be 3 into a thermo shape, so this has to be a 2 here. Means there's a 2 there. So we're going to have a 2 in one of these cells and a 2 in one of these cells. We made some progress with the 2s. Let's actually not forget that we can also look at the lowest value of 1 in a thermo puzzle and often make a lot of progress. So we've got this one, and this one that all work together to say there's a 1 in one of these cells, but it can't be off that thermo. So it's got to be here, forces a 1 here. The remaining cells that aren't pointed to by this one and this one are these, but only the one that's not in the thermo can be used. So that requires this. Means the 1 is in the space at the top. Coming to this middle right box, it can't be in a thermo except at a bulb, so the only position for 1 is here. And we get a forced pair of a 1, 2 that we can use. We're making good headway with the smallish values, so let's maybe keep doing that for a bit. And let's do it by looking at the value 3. And one of the first things I'm actually seeing is 3's eliminate a lot in this space. We're actually left with just this spot in this middle row for a 3, which means this is a 6 over here. Those 2 3's force this 3 and a 3 in this bottom spot. We can probably make some additional headway by seeing like where this value has to be larger than a 3. The 3 isn't along this thermo, so the only place left in this column for a 3 is right here. And that actually means this is a 3, this is a 1, this is a 1, this is a 2, this is a 2. And we have the last 3's in those top spots. I'm going to take a jump ahead just because I see 2 5's in the bottom to see if 5 has to go into this cell. And actually now is pretty limiting. This column has 7, 8, 9 to go, so 9 has to be at the end of a thermo and can't be in this box where we have a 7, 8 pair. That means this is a 7, 8 cell, but it sees this 7, so 8 up above, 7 and 8 now in this order. Puts an 8 into this cell. That gives me 4, 7 across these. This may be where earlier note and some good thermo logic will give us the next key aha. So we should ask ourselves, this 5 is small, and it's got to come from a smallish number getting to it. So it's encouraging to think the 2 needs to end at this 5, and some bigger value ends at this 8, but can we prove that? Well, this thermo can now no longer be a 1, 2, or a 3, so it's as small as a 4, which means 4, 5, 6. This is as small as a 6, so this has to be the 8. This has to be the 5, which moves the 4 up and the 7 down in the space. We have 7, 6 to finish this 4th row, and the 7 down below forces the 6 to left, 7 to the right. This will have to be a 4, 5 to make this work. And can we actually figure out which of those it is? Well, if we look back at the 5, we know that there's got to be a 5 across these cells here and across these cells here. So it may help if we do more solving. This can't have a 9 in it, so this actually is now limited to be just a 4 in the space. And this whole column now has 6 and 9 to go, so this has to be a 6 here and a 9 here. I got 4, 8, 6 in this space. The 8's going to be pointing vertically, but that doesn't give me enough. The 6's, though, force this to be a 6, this to be an 8. That makes this a 4. And so now we have a 4 in these cells, and it's got to be a value less than 6, not equal to 5 that goes in here, so that being a 4 makes sense. That leaves behind 5, 9, but 9 doesn't work there, so 9 is here, 5 is here, and we now get enough of that forcing Last in this third column is a 6, so we have 4 and 7 to place. 4 down below, 7 here. Now we do finally finish that this is a 5, not a 4. The 4 is up above. This has 6 and 9 to go, and right now we don't have those down below, but we'll see quite quickly when we look at this row here. We do know that that's the last 6, which puts a 6, puts in a 9, puts in a 9, puts in a 7, puts in a 7, puts in an 8. We have 3 and 4 in this space, but we've got to have a smaller digit before that 4, and so the thermo rules give us the last pair to break what would otherwise be a uniqueness issue if this was just a traditional Sudoku puzzle. And we get to the end of this fun line face, so hopefully you enjoyed this week of variety puzzles, including this Thermo-Sudoku by Rajesh. Thanks for the puzzle, Rajesh, and we'll see you again soon.